Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to Casual Discussion, the show where we talk and try to have fun. I'm your host Zelrix, and today, since my last video on Superman, I wanted to talk about his longtime rival, both a good friend and an untamable foe. Today, we're talking about Batman. I love Batman. Everybody loves Batman. He's arguably the world's greatest superhero, super recognizable, and one of the most notorious S-tier characters. For those of you who don't know what a S-tier character is, well, it simply means that on a scale of D to S on a tier list, he's at S level, the super level, the ultimate level. Tier A characters are characters that even non-fan can recognize, at least from the name and the appearance, like Thor, Captain America, or Iron Man. Tier B are the characters that the grand public basically knows and can sometimes identify, like Cyborg or Nightwing. Tier C are characters that you don't know unless you're above the level of amateur in the given universe, like Blue Beetle, Titanium Man. And then the tier D character, the character that to know you have to be a nerd among nerds, like I don't know, the motherfucking Koala Commander. Seriously, Marvel? Koala Commander? He's a Spider-Gwen bad guy who basically throws koala at his foes. Yep, that exists. But S-tier characters, they're characters that everybody knows because they're so anchored in the pop culture, like Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. And if you force it, maybe Wolverine. Maybe. As always, if you disagree, feel free to insult me in the comments down below and I won't forget not to give a shit. Just an experience, this is a Photoshop layer, I'm taking red, I'm taking blue, I forget, and poof. Just with these two colors, you're thinking about Spider-Man. That's how iconic S-tier characters are. So as an S-tier character, Batman has his fair share of amazing stories, good allies, and wonderful enemies. I mean, the guy has been around since 1939, so... Comparing Batman to Superman, you start to realize that they're basically opposite. Superman is an almighty being who is almost perfect, and Batman is a borderline sociopath that needs to be kept in check. And to do so, he needs help of allies and other side characters. So without further ado, here are the most important Batman characters from a narrative standpoint. First character I'm gonna mention is none other than good old Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred is Bruce Wayne's butler, but he's also his father figure and somebody who is always there for Bruce. After the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne, Alfred basically raised Bruce all by himself, trying to get him over the trauma of losing his parents in Crime Alley. I mean, the Wayne's death is tragic, but did they really have to take a shortcut through Crime Alley? No, but seriously, the street name is Crime Alley. They're billionaires, they could have taken a cab back to Wayne Manor. So from a narrative standpoint, Alfred is not just a deus ex machina who can provide medical attention whenever Bruce gets stabbed, shot, burned, beaten, etc. Alfred is also there for moral support. He's there to help Bruce keep his feet on the ground and prevent him from going too far into the dark. Without Alfred, Bruce would have become the Flashpoint Paradox Batman, who is actually Thomas Wayne, who lost Bruce in Crime Alley, and when Martha Wayne became the Joker. This has driven Thomas Wayne to become so violent that he is Batman, but he also uses gun and kills just for the heck of it. I have to contradict myself right there. Let's be clear on one thing, Batman doesn't kill. He kills a lot. Seriously, even in the first comics, he had no shame hanging criminal from the Batwing and he even carried a bat gun. So to all of you who complains about Batman vs Superman because Batman has a bat machine gun on the Batmobile, I say, fuck you. I actually really liked Batman vs Superman and I should make a video about that one day. There's also a big difference between Bruce Wayne and any lunatic with a gun. Batman cares about people. He doesn't have a crusade to kill people or to hurt innocent, something that for example Scarecrow or the Joker would have. Deep down, even if Batman's quest is for vengeance towards the crime of Gotham City, he cares about innocence. He simply doesn't want any kid to suffer the way he did when he was 8 years old and lost his parents. And that is because of Alfred. He was always there for him, he was the ultimate butler, he was the Hufflepuff of the Hufflepuffs, and he supported almost every decision Bruce made, guiding him on the path towards becoming a true hero. Alfred is actually an excellent father figure for someone like Bruce, or for any superhero for that matters. At the end of the Justice League cartoon, while the Justice League is discussing Hawkgirl's treason, Alfred stays with her and he tells her that yes, she did a mistake, but ultimately she acted as a hero and she protected the Earth. That counts. There is that time in Batman Rebirth when Batman had to guide a plane towards the water, preventing it from crashing into Gotham City. Alfred stayed with Bruce on the communicator because they both know that he was not going to survive the crash. And while he was doing that, he was reassuring Bruce, telling him that things are gonna be okay and that Thomas and Martha Wayne would have been so proud of him, as proud as he was of his son. To illustrate how good of a father figure Alfred can be to Bruce, how protective he can be, let me introduce you to arguably the best Alfred moment of all time. The Injustice video game talks about what happened when Superman goes rogue and becomes the new world's overlord. And in this comic, Batman raised a resistance towards Superman's regime. And you have Alfred f***ing Pennyworth beating the crap out of Superman as far as to make his own shoe explode and making him understand that he will not survive if he attempts to hurt his family again. God damn it! Oh man, I love Alfred so much. It's simple, you take Hulk, you take Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, and Koala Commander because D-list characters are people too. You put them against Alfred and Alfred is gonna wipe them out without even dropping a sweat. Sorry, I have a condition that's called Pennyworth's fever. So long story short, Alfred is there as a guide for Bruce to assure that he stays on the right path. Now wrapping up, arguably one of the most important characters in comic books history, we have the Robins. Over the years, there has been many instances of people becoming Robin, but let's face it, only Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne counts. Robins are there to represent Batman's sons, but most importantly, they are there to be his conscience. Once Alfred has been setting Bruce on the right path, it's Robin's job to keep him on this path. And that is especially true for Dick Grayson and Tim Drake. For example, in the episode Old Wounds of the animated series, Tim Drake, Robin, runs into Dick Grayson, Nightwing, who decides to explain to Tim why he hanged the cape of Robin. He thought that Bruce had crossed the line, brutalizing a low-level henchman of the Joker in front of his wife and kid. This is when Dick Grayson decided that he did not want it to be like Batman, and when he decided to stop being Robin and become Nightwing instead. By the end of the episode, we realize that because of Dick's decision to leave, Bruce has offered a job to the low-level henchman of the Joker, and he even regularly takes news from his wife and kid. Realizing that Bruce has changed, Nightwing decides to give him another chance and eventually start working with him again. Bruce has made a mistake and he had to lose Dick Grayson to realize it. As for Tim Drake, the smartest Robin, my personal favorite, and the future Red Robin, Batman himself has recognized that Tim had the potential to become a greater detective than he was. Still, in the New Adventures of Batman, in the episode Never Fear, the Scarecrow poisoned Batman with a new version of his gas. This version is meant to eliminate any trace of fear in the person who inhales it. This results in people causing chaos throughout Gotham City, being totally reckless, not paying attention to whatever might hurt them or others. And when Batman gets infected, Tim Drake realizes that he has to put an end to his action because Batman is not afraid to kill anymore or to be very violent. Of course, Tim Drake is young, but he does understand that he has to carry on the mission and that in this precise case, it means that he has to go against Batman's order because Batman has become a bloodthirsty vigilante who will put an end to any criminal he sees. And then there is Damian Wayne. He is a very peculiar case because he is Batman's blood son who was raised by Ra's al Ghul. Damian is to Batman what Batman is to Alfred, a wild card that has a soul that really tries to be good but needs to be kept in check to be sure that they don't go too far. We know that they care for each other. We know that they love each other as father and son, even if they have no pity for each other's mistakes. Damian makes Bruce take conscience of his action. By helping him overcome his past with the League of Shadow, Bruce takes conscious of his own mistakes and it helps him tame his own recklessness. And now the most complicated one. Jason Todd. He does represent Batman's conscience, but the part that deals with guilt. Jason Todd had no one when Batman found him on the street trying to steal the tires of the fucking Batmobile. I'm sorry, what? Okay. I have a few questions. First of all, where did a 12-year-old learn how to steal a tire, especially the ones on the Batmobile? Second, you see the Batmobile, you're 12, if you live in Gotham City, you shit your pants and you run, you don't try to steal the tires? And finally, this is a question you need to ask yourself at least once in your life. Why? Why is Batman always abducting orphans and dress them as Robin? They get shot all the time, they get beat up, burned, stabbed. But yeah, the young Jason Todd had balls. You have to remember that from this story. Eventually, Jason Todd became Robin, but Batman did put him in harm's way and led to his death. Jason Todd then resurrected when Superboy Prime decided he was punching reality in its stupid face because of course it happened, and he became Red Hood, something that Batman blames himself a lot for happening. Jason Todd represents Batman's mistake, his own recklessness, and his death made him take conscience of his action. As a matter of fact, when Tim Drake became Robin after Jason, his entire training was meant to ensure that he will not have to suffer the same fate as Jason Todd. The death of Jason Todd, while tragic, taught Batman a somewhat semi-sense of responsibility. But unfortunately, in the DC universe, and especially for Batman, things are never perfect, are they? Let me introduce you to arguably one of the best Batman story ever told, the flashback sequence of the Batman Beyond movie. In this little lapse, we can see that Tim Drake had to stop being Robin because the Joker abducted him and tortured him, at a point where Tim Drake even became a mini version of the clown. But believe it or not, Tim Drake did not hang on the cape on his own. Batman had to stop him from his Robin activity. Just like the death of Jason Todd, the transformation of Tim Drake from Robin to Mini Joker gave Batman a conscience strike that he was not being a good guardian. I know Bruce Wayne is not the guardian of Tim Drake, but you get the point. He realized that he had put a pretty smart kid who had a bright future in danger. And since this movie came out in 1999 and Damian Wayne was not introduced until 2006, we can imagine that in this universe, Bruce might never have taken another Robin after that because he had a conscience strike, because he realized that he was putting kids in danger. Unfortunately, he learned this lesson the hard way, but he had to learn it at some point. So the point is, Robins are the conscience of Batman, either intentionally like Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, or non-intentionally like Damian Wayne and Jason Todd. They prevent him from going too far. And the most important thing to remember is that Robins learns from Batman, but Batman learns far more from Robin. And now finally, Batman's best friend, the most important character in the Dark Knight's history, the one true person that allows Batman to be called a good character and a good hero, the Joker. Every good arch nemesis is the mirror image of the hero, and the Joker is sure that Batman is as crazy as he is, which he might quite be when you think about it. Joker always smiles, he always laughs, he dresses himself in purple, green and red in very bright shades. Batman dresses in black, he never laughs, he never smiles, or very rarely. These are two totally opposite images, right? Batman and the Joker are closer than you realize. They need each other. Think about it. Both in the animated series and in the comics like Dark Knight Returns, the Joker goes through a long period of grief when Batman dies or disappears because he doesn't have anybody else to piss off in Gotham City. The Bat gives the clown a purpose. The clown loves the Bat. But the opposite is also true. The Bat actually needs the Joker to still exist, and this is very obvious in the story of the Dark Knight in a few pretty important plot points. Let's start by the masterpiece, one of the comics that many fans, me first, consider as one of the greatest Batman Joker story ever written, The Killing Joke. This comics relies on one simple idea. All it takes is one bad day to drive the sanest of men towards the path to hell. Even though this is the Joker, we are sure of nothing considering his past. We can see in this comics that he used to have a wife and a baby on the way, and that losing them drove him insane. We can echo that to Bruce losing his parents. The Joker is what Batman could have become if he had been truly alone, if he didn't have Alfred and later on the Robins. Batman and the Joker are two sides of the same coin. Bruce has been saved and has since failed to save the Joker. Killing Joke is a very heavy comics to read. The Joker being a figure of laughter, you know shit gets real when he stops laughing, when Batman and him get serious and have a real heart-to-heart. It happens 2 times in the story. First of all, at the beginning, when Batman goes to Arkham and tries to talk to the Joker, he admits that one day one of them will have to kill the other. But at the end of the comic, no matter all the horrible things the Joker has committed, no matter that he just shot Barbara Gordon and tried to drive Jim Gordon, her father, insane, Batman still tries to help him because in the end, the Joker is the victim of his own madness and Batman does understand that. Meanwhile, the Joker has one of these very rare spark of lucidity in his eyes where he gets sad when he confesses to Batman that even he knows that he's too far gone, that he can't be helped. But at this moment, he's not trying to kill Batman or to trick him. He's not violent. He's just a man confessing that he has tried and failed to get better. The comics ends on the Joker cracking an old joke, and for the first time, Batman laughs at a gag emitted by the clown Prince of Crime. At this moment, they share chemistry. At this moment, they're not enemies, but friends in the same boat. At this moment, Batman is the Joker, and the Joker is Batman. This might even be interpreted as why Batman is still a good person versus the Joker who's just a lunatic. The Joker has given up on himself, something that Batman never did. He never gave up on himself and he never gave up on the Joker. This is why the Joker is so important for Batman. He is so bad that the good in Bruce has to resurface to counterbalance it, otherwise it would just be chaos and mayhem in Gotham City. The Joker forces Batman to be a hero. The second time I'm gonna talk about is that time I mentioned earlier when Tim Drake was Jokerized by the clown. The end of this sequence shows how much the Jokers actually care for Batman. After Jokerizing Tim Drake, the Joker shows footage to Bruce about how he did it and what happened next. But all too soon, the serum and the shocks took their toll, and the dear lad began to share such secrets with me, secrets that are mine alone to know, Bruce. It's true, Batsy. I know everything, and kind of like the kid who peeks at his Christmas presents. I must admit, it's sadly anticlimactic. Behind all the stern and the batarang, you're just a little boy in a play suit crying for mommy and daddy. It'd be funny if it wasn't so pathetic. Oh, and what the heck, I'll laugh anyway. And then they fight, but even after it is confirmed that the Joker knows who Batman is, that he knows he is Bruce Wayne, he still calls him Batman, he still faces him as his arch nemesis, the Bat, the Cape Crusader. This is far from the first time the Joker had learned the secret identity of Bruce. As a matter of fact, in the recent Joker War, we learned that it has been a while since the Joker knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman, but he never exposed him. He did so because the Joker has a profound respect for Batman, something that his other enemies do not have, with the very notable exception of Ra's al Ghul. And then, the final moment I'm gonna mention. The beloved story, Dark Knight Returns. When Batman resurfaces, the Joker remembers who he was and he starts acting like the Clown Prince of Crime once again. They eventually fight, and in the movie, Batman starts to rant about all the people he murdered by refusing to kill the Joker. The Joker then confesses to Bruce that he never counted how many people he had killed, but Batman did, and he takes responsibility for every single one of them. This is the second reason why Batman actually needs the Joker to remember who he is, who he could have become, and what he stands and fights for. Batman fights against lunatics like Scarecrow, the Penguin, and Ra's al Ghul to protect Gotham City, and to prevent people from becoming as bad as the Joker had become. This is what the Joker is for Batman: responsibility. And when you think about it, Batman is a superhero, and if there are no more supervillains to cause chaos and mayhem, well, there is no need for a hero, and no one can cause chaos and mayhem like good old Mr. J. Batman and the Joker have objectively the best rivalry in comic books history. Batman always said that he wasn't a good man deep down, but the Joker is there to prove the opposite. He's there to show Batman what true evil looks like. And sometimes Bruce gets a flash of lucidity and remembers that the Joker is just a victim of his own madness. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I said it by the past and I'm gonna say it again. Every good hero needs to be well surrounded, and it is especially true for Batman. As for Superman, Batman has been around for quite a while, so if you disagree with me, if you want to bring out more point or discuss the point that I've discussed in this video, the comment section is down below. I'm impatient to read your points of view. Then subscribe and activate the bell to be notified when a new video comes up. Support my artwork by following me on Instagram, and as always, thanks for watching.